Hey, what is up guys? Guitar Rock here. Welcome back to another Tower Fantasy video. Alright, the light is a bit too bright. Tower Fantasy just posted this new tweet on their official Twitter page 4 hours ago. Pretty interesting. It's actually a developer notes. I don't remember there's a first one, but apparently this is going to be the second devs notes. So we're gonna check it out and I'll give you guys again my thoughts on it. It seems to be pretty lengthy right here. So let's read it through together. We're gonna try to break it down for you guys as well. Okay, so developers report for October 2nd, 2022. So dear Wanderers, thank you for your continuous support of Tower Fantasy. It's a TOF team here. It's been a while since the last devs report. And some of you may start to think, fine, they don't care about what we are talking about. We do care. Okay, so that's good to know. As developers, I mean like between interaction between players and developers, very important to show that they actually care is very important, alright? So even if you are facing countless tasks every day, sometimes attacked by hackers, okay, that sucks, man. We are working very hard on fair operation and anti-cheating. We will never give up on continuous communication with you all. I'm not sure about what do they mean by sometimes they are getting hacked, they're attacked by hackers. Is this like the company itself or is it the game? Like if it's the game, it's fine, but if the company is being attacked by hackers, that would suck because like a lot of our private information are with the company. So I hope that's going to be fine, you know, like it's a bit scary, you know, like I don't want like everyone's like private information to get leaked or whatever. Granted, it's just going to be like your username, email address, etc, etc, but that's going to suck. Again, not sure this is like from the game side of things. If it's just the hackers attacking the game, yes, it's happening all the time and hopefully they will work hard on it. I assume that's the case because they are talking about fair operation and anti-cheating. So hopefully they'll be working on that. So that's good to know. So we've conducted some in-game events in the past month and thank you all for your participation. We will keep working on new interesting events and enrich the game contents. On the other hand, we also realized that some feedback about the frequency regarding these events that make Wanderers stressful. Okay, what do you mean by the frequency regarding the events? Like the events are too often? I don't know, I feel like the event is fine as it is. So right now in the game, maybe some players, they get it mixed up. There's like 2 events, but actually there's only 1 event, let's be honest. So this is one of the event. The main one that we're doing is split into like a couple of different weeks. You will unlock like the node, second one, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, right? And then there's one more event for the Wheel of Fantasy, but I don't really consider this an event. I think most players don't really consider this an event because this is where you just spin this particular gachapon machine and try and get your costume or whatever they want to get from this. I don't really consider this, you know, like part of the things that you need to do. So it's just one event per 2 weeks. So how is that like too often? Because right here they are saying they have feedback about the frequency regarding these events that makes Wanderers stressful. I'm not seeing it, alright? So that's just maybe from my opinion. So far, I think it's fine because previously we had the cooking event, right? If you guys remember, the cooking event ended and then this event came in. So it's still like one event going on at a time. It's not like they're having multiple events, unless you count that spin the wheel thing. But I don't think we should be counting that. That's not like a proper event as well, right? We admit that we have the ambitious goal of giving Global Wanderers the latest game experience by catching up with the progress of CN version. Very commendable for them to say this. Straight up came out and say that they admit that they are rushing. Alright, so they are trying to, you know, push. Of course, they make it the wording make it sound like it's the ambitious goal, giving them the latest game experience. But yes, they are rushing. They are rushing this for free-to-play players. It's suffering. I can see from your guys' point of view that they have been trying to push to catch up with the CN version. However, we will also consider adjusting the event schedule accordingly to provide you with a more comfortable experience. Okay, so that is, I think, a good thing that if players are complaining that, you know, we are being rushed too fast and they are willing to tone it down a little bit, they are willing to adjust, maybe slow it down a little bit, that could be cool. Alright, I would definitely think that's going to be a much better, because the game is not intended to be played at such a fast pace especially back then in CN, they have more time to save. Let's just be honest, right? Even though we have the benefit of knowing what characters are out already in the CN server, but still, it just doesn't make sense. You can only have so much dark crystals farm per day, daily or weekly. So that's something that I hope the devs are aware of that, right? Unless they are willing to compensate by giving you more of those things. But you know, there's only so much that they can do as well. Okay, so let's talk about this. With the mention of Tower Fantasy's CN version, you know, all of us like to talk about for sure. We also want to talk about the collaboration characters that were frequently discussed these days. Ooh, okay, this is news. The team really appreciates your enthusiasm for these characters. I think they're talking about that 2 specific characters that's like a CN exclusive. If you guys are not aware what character I'm talking about, it's Mark, which is a physical type, is a male character, and Bayuki. So she's a female character, Volt type. She's like the shatter unit for Volt. So right now, oh no, it's not looking good. Unfortunately, the global version may not be able to provide these characters due to copyright barriers. Okay, that means there's a very high chance, there's still a chance, but there's a very high chance it won't be able to come to global server, sadly. So I think it's fine. Like, I think that's something that most players anticipated. Most of us have seen it coming, and you know, pretty much I think a lot of players, including myself, have said multiple times, collaborations usually between like when they have it in like KR server, CN server, or whichever like server that the company is based on, it's hard to bring it to global because the audience is going to be different. So if you have like a collab, depending on what collab, right? If it's a collab that's like this one, for this particular one, for the Mark and Bayuki, is of a Chinese animation movie or something. So it's like very famous in China, or I think it's somewhat famous, but I don't think many global players will know of this collaboration. So I think it's like a waste. If they want to do collab, it's better to do collab with something that global, with characters that global players care about, right? For example, I don't know what would be a good one. That's not Genshin, or of course people want Genshin collaboration, but Naruto, One Piece, or even One Punch Man. I would love a One Punch Man collab. Okay, so however, we may work on other collaboration events and characters in the future. Please stay tuned. Okay, so basically they are literally saying right here that global version most likely won't have the what CN server is having in terms of the collaboration, and potentially global server is going to have a new collab. Now let's think about it from a couple of perspectives, right? At first glance, it's a good thing because global having our own collab, why not? I would love it. I'm sure you guys will love it as well. But think about it for a second, right? A lot of us as players, we have been referencing to CN for a long time. We have looked at CN and they have these characters, they have that character, and we like to make the comparison. And that's just human nature, all right? You just can't say, hey, don't compare. Like, we're just going to, it's normal for people to like to make the comparison. Now with the Mark and Bayuki, players already know CN have them. But if global have our own collab, we won't know how good the collab will be. We don't know like in terms of the characters, we don't know if they are meta, and I think like this is going to be a bit dangerous or rather risky, right? Collabs are, I'm not a big fan of collabs sometimes in games because if they are too strong, that means that if players miss the collab, they won't be able to obtain like a meta character, and that sucks for new players that comes and wants to join later on. Like, it's always like a bad thing in a way. So if it's a collab character, they have to make it somewhat balanced. They shouldn't make it bad either. Like, that's going to be something that's really tough to do, and I see companies mostly just struggle with this. They either make the collab characters too good, too strong, or they make it too weak, and both is usually very, very bad. So yeah, game experience adjustment optimization is a long-term task that we are working on and hoping to involve your participation. We are reviewing your feedback, suggestions carefully, taking active actions on the implementation. We have observed wondrous discussions about the respawn time of the new world boss on the artificial island. Okay, so they're talking about the artificial island, the main boss. This one is, I kind of agree. Alright, why is it every 3 days? So they need to improve on this for sure. Now, if you guys are not aware, they basically patched it kind of recently, I think about last week. Common enemies respawn every 3 days, bosses every 7 days. I think 7 days is fine. I wouldn't want to do it too often as well, right? But it's just I would rather everything has the same timer, like these main bosses, like because these bosses are the one that held the most important material. I don't know, something like a quality of life, like a timer and alarm to let players know, notification, something along those lines to say, hey, boss have respawned. That would be nice as well. I don't want to be like checking these bosses. I don't even remember when's the last time I hit it, but it's like 7 days from the last time you hit it. That's going to be hard to figure out as well. That's good that they will try to, you know, revise the respawn logic in the later version to make it similar to other world bosses. Oh, you may refer to future patch notes for the updates, and thank you for all the feedback. This article is too short to include all the questions you are wondering about, but we will for sure continue to communicate with you guys in the future. Currently, we are actively optimizing the methods of collecting feedback. We plan to enlarge our customer service team and hope to shorten the time of resolving issues. That is very good news. All right, to always you know, increase your customer service. That's the most important thing for any games, any gacha games. The customer having the communication part is very important as well. So besides the in-game CS support, we will also add more windows outside the game official website. Of course, we will keep receiving your voices on other platforms as well, and always be open to feedback and suggestions. Alright, so overall, I think this is a very good developers notes. I'm glad that the devs are actually communicating with the players, and I'm glad they straight up came out and admit that, you know, they are rushing too hard. They will consider toning it down a little bit. I'm glad they address about the collab, so now we can stop talking about it and just, you know, hopefully we'll get a better collab in the future. Let me know what collab would you guys want to see in Tower of Fantasy. Alright, so that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.